This is Between the Uprights.
Football is life. The rest is just details.
Here are your hosts, Joe, Matt, and Chris.
What's up, everybody? This is Between the Uprights. I'm Joe, that's Matt. Chris couldn't be here with us today, but that does not mean we will not be giving you that great NFL football breakdown that you come to Between the Uprights for day in, day out, 24/7, 365. But first, before we get into all of that great NFL news, please hit that like and subscribe button for us. We would greatly appreciate it. We're just getting this thing started, and we need your support. We want your support, and we want to hear from you as well. Get in the comments of these videos, please. We love to hit right back to the fans. We love to be engaging with the fans, so please do that now. The NFC West is in a straight gridlock right now. All the teams are 4-4, except for the Rams, who are 3-5, but they are getting healthy at the right time. Both Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua are back. They are practicing, they are playing, and that offense is about to pop off. We all know it's going to pop off. Matt Stafford's still Matt Stafford. They are going to be a force to be reckoned with in that division. And realistically, all of these teams' schedules outside of divisional play really aren't that hard. I mean, I think the team that has the worst schedule right now, if I'm looking at it correctly, is probably going to be either the Seahawks or the 49ers, because those two teams outside of division play 1, 2, 3 for the 49ers to play the Packers, the Bills, and the Lions still. And the Seahawks are going to play the Packers, the Vikings, and the Bears as well. So those are really the hardest schedules right now outside of division. The rest of these games are all divisional play. So they still have all the games against the division, all of them gridlocked. I mean, the 49ers dealing with a lot of injuries. Is Arizona for real or not? Is the Rams getting healthy at the right time? Can the Seahawks, do the things they need to do? All of these things and more are in play in the NFC West. So, Matt, I'm going to kick it to you. Who is taking this division home at the end of the year? Because right now, I don't know who to pick.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough one. I mean, like you said, all the teams are basically in the same exact spot. They're all within a half game. They're either tied with each other, or in the Rams' case, they're within a half game. I'm going with the one team that is not tied. I'm going with the Rams. I think the Rams, like you mentioned, Joe, they got healthy at the right time. Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua came back, and we saw the impact they had right away. Puka Nacua had like 3 days of practice, comes in, plays like half the snaps against the Minnesota Vikings, who were a 5-1 juggernaut at the time, and comes in and drops 7 for $106 right away. Cooper Kupp comes back after missing a bunch of time, 5 for 51 and a touchdown. So you see the difference between Matthew Stafford with and without those guys. He's a completely different quarterback. And listen, as much as anybody else, we talked about it in a previous video, I want a physical team up front. I want someone who's going to run the football and someone who's going to stop the run. Okay. So far this year, that has not been the I was about to say the St. Louis Rams. Jesus, like it's 2010. It's the Los Angeles Rams. Okay. The Los Angeles Rams are not good up front. Okay. At least so far this season. Okay. Offensively, they're 26th rushing the football, which is actually kind of surprising considering they have a really nice back in Kyron Williams. And then defensively, they're 24th against the run. So they have not been good against the run, but most of the teams in the division are also not good against the run. Okay. The Cardinals are good running the football. They're 7th. Their offense is 7th rushing the football, and then their defense is 27th. So they can run the ball, but they get it run on like crazy. The Seahawks aren't good at either. Okay. Their offense is 29th against the run, which is surprising again to me because they have a good back in Kenneth Walker. And then their defense is also 29th against the run. So they are bad against both. I don't see them being able to make a run, especially because I don't see them having the coach quarterback fit that'll push them over the top as well. But the Niners, however, are good against both. They're 4th offensively rushing the football, and that's without Christian McCaffrey, who apparently they're getting back in Week 10. I believe it's for the Buccaneers game, Week 10. So, but again, he's got a high re-injury risk with that Achilles injury, so be on the lookout for that. But their defense is also 6th against the run. So the Niners, as far as up front goes, they're the team to pick in the NFC West. The problem with the Niners is I don't trust their coach and their quarterback. I just don't. Their coach, when big situations arise, I still don't trust Kyle Shanahan. When it's a random October game in Arizona, I'll trust Kyle Shanahan, but when the stakes start to get bigger and bigger and bigger, Kyle Shanahan's butthole gets this tight, okay? It gets really, really tight when the stakes get big, and I don't trust him, okay? And Brock Purdy, we see what he's looked like this year when some of his weapons have been hurt. He hasn't looked as good, okay? I do believe that Brock Purdy is a good quality starting quarterback in the NFL, but I don't think he's the same without some of those weapons. So for me, I think I look at up front and then I look at coach quarterback. Okay. To me, coach quarterback in this division is obvious. Okay. The McVay, Matthew Stafford combo is easily the best coach quarterback combo in this division. And I think with those weapons, the Puka Nacua return and the Cooper Kupp return for the rest of the season, I think the Rams are going to get hot and start getting on a run. And I think the Rams are going to take this division. I had them preseason in this division. I have them, even though they're 3-4, I still think I was about to say the St. Louis Rams again. See, I was about to say the St. Louis Rams again. You're over there dying about it because I'm about to make a stupid mistake again. So I think the Los Angeles Rams are going to take this division, Joe. And I think they're going to make a really, really nice run here down the stretch.
You're probably right. I mean, I'm looking at the schedules right now. The Rams by far have the easiest schedule in this division. They got the Dolphins, who we're still not sure what they're going to be like with or without Tua. They have the Patriots, who we already know who the Patriots are. Excuse me. They have the Eagles who've had questions. I know. I'm dying. I don't know what's going on.
He's dying over there.
My body just suddenly wanted to shut down. It's like Beetlejuice, bro, except for it's me dying if you say St. Louis Rams one more time. But, they get the Eagles, who we really haven't seen anything from this year. We're kind of wondering, are they going to be good? Was Shane Steichen the reason they were good? Then they get the Saints, who were just destroyed with injuries. Bills, 49ers. Then they get the Jets. We all know what the Jets are. And they finish out back-to-back at home. They don't leave home the last 2 weeks of the year. They're going to have the Cardinals come visit and the Seahawks come visit. Realistically, the Rams have the easiest schedule going forward. So I could definitely see, especially if they stay healthy, being the ones to run away with this division because, like I said, they have the Seahawks next week. Then they're going to have the Dolphins and the Patriots. We already know the Dolphins are one more concussion or two away from being nothing. Whether or not Tua is even viable right now in that offense, we know he makes it better, but how healthy is he? How focused is he? It really comes down to that. And the rest of the way until they meet the Bills is essentially, in my opinion, a cakewalk. I don't think the Eagles are really they're going to be in LA. I don't see that being a big problem for the Rams. The Saints, we already talked about that. The Bills, that's really their next biggest game after the Seahawks. They have about a solid 4-week stretch here where if they go 4-1, we'll say they lose to the Seahawks, they're still right there in the thick of this. And then they go Bills away at 49ers, away at Jets. I still think they're going to beat the Jets. And then if they win the last 2 games of the year, they control their destiny. I mean, essentially at that point, I think that they can definitely run away with it. I don't know. Like I said, the Cardinals, they got a pretty easy schedule as well. I mean, they get the Bears, who Caleb Williams just barely threw like 33 yards in the first half or whatever it was. It was terrible. Then they get the Jets. Those are both at home. Then they go on the road, Seahawks, Vikings. Then they come back home, Seahawks, Patriots, Panthers, Rams, back home for the 49ers. So they get a pretty easy cakewalk schedule towards the end as well. And if they can win a couple of those games, they're right in the thick of things too. The 49ers are honestly the most vulnerable team I see here right now. You're talking, the injuries have continued to mount. The defense is playing well, but they're missing key members over there. They're getting Christian McCaffrey back. How healthy is he going to be? I mean, Jordan Mason's there, but he's been dealing with injury as well. And you said Brock Purdy, without his weapons, has looked pedestrian, to say the least. He really hasn't looked like the guy that we had seen previously. He looks more like, some of what the big, the color commentators we've seen on ESPN and stuff say he probably is. More of a system guy that if you remove the talent, he's what Mac Jones is. Like, a lot of people have always said that if you put Mac Jones in Brock Purdy's situation, he was going to perform that well. Like, anyone can walk in. Is that not what Stephen A. Smith and Nick Wright and those guys said about Brock Purdy? Anyone can walk into the San Francisco 49ers system and play quarterback there with Kyle Shanahan and those weapons. Brock Purdy's not that guy. Right now, I mean, it's hard to argue with that statement. I mean, he really hasn't looked good now that Brandon Ayuk's been down. Debo's been dealing with injury. He's started to kind of show a little bit of, some problems. So I don't know what that's going to look like there. And then the Seahawks, you mentioned Kenneth Walker. The reason they're so bad is because Kenneth Walker can't stay healthy. He can't. He's literally made of glass. It's why when I had him in my fantasy league, I traded his ass. Like, I was after he got hurt again, I was like, I'm done with this. I'm done playing this fucking emotional roller coaster with this guy. I'm done. I traded him. I was done with it. But they have a pretty tough schedule. I mean, they get the Packers, the Vikings, the Bears. They have the Rams twice, the 49ers. I mean, the only game that they have against a non-playoff opponent that doesn't have a winning record right now is the Jets. And that's not until 3-4 weeks from now. So the Seahawks have the toughest schedule. I think the Niners have the second toughest. And then the Rams and the Cardinals, realistically, they have the easiest road. And they've already beat the Niners. They beat the Rams. So they're already 2-0 in the division. the Cardinals are. So I'm thinking, as much as I like to say the Rams got this, I'm going to go with the dark horse pick here. I think the Arizona Cardinals, who are running the football well, who have the talent in that offense now that Kyler Murray's focused and playing football again. What would we do if the Arizona Cardinals at the end of the year win the NFC West?
This has been Between the Uprights. Football is life. The rest is just details.